Good evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about some Monster High stuff. So the Harris Reed Witch Weaver doll officially released today, so we've got more stock photos of the doll to discuss, and I figure now's a good time to give my full thoughts on the doll now that we have more pictures to go off of. And I also want to talk about the Cree Production restock, because as you guys know, it happened yesterday? Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I don't remember. I think it was yesterday. But people have been receiving their Cree Productions today, and the quality control has been awful. So I just want to talk about that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we'll start with the Witch Weaver because we have a lot of stock photos to go over. So before we only had one photo of the doll from the customer service portal, and now we have multiple showing the doll's details off. This doll is also wearing a real-life inspired pair of shoes that I think Harris Reed may have designed himself. By the way, I found out that the designer Harris Reed does use he/him pronouns, whereas this doll was actually referred to on Mattel Creations in the description with they/them. So just putting that out there, I'm going to refer to the doll as they/them, but I'm going to refer to Harris Reed with he/him. But yeah, there had actually been a leak of this shoe sculpt, and people thought it might be Draculaura's shoes for the upcoming Scary Sweet birthday line, which is G3's Sweet 1600. And it turned out that the boots were actually meant for this doll. It's a little hard to see, but they've got kind of this like rocky, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's like geometrical looking. It's got an interesting texture to it. And then there's also spider webs on like the boots, like the actual like long part of the boots. It's really hard to see. There's no actual like focused photo of them. This is the closest there was on Mattel Creations. So this is the picture I'm using to talk about the shoes because it's the only one where we can kind of see them. The doll's packaging is alright, I guess. It does kind of make the halo kind of just look like a part of the box though. I do like it better when you can actually tell that it's something the doll is wearing. I feel like it makes the doll look more complete because they have nothing on their head otherwise, and I feel like with such a bottom-heavy look, with, like, the flared boots, with the puffy, top, I feel like you need something on the head to balance it out. That's why I would have preferred this doll to wear a hat. But yeah. This doll's pretty cool. I like the little, spiderweb tattoos, and the rings are cool. I'm not sure why their nails are painted so sparsely. I'm guessing that's the point, but it just looks a little strange to me. It looks a bit unfinished, in my opinion. Overall, the doll is cool. And it turns out that their final price is actually $75 rather than the $90 to $100 that was currently, or like before, being predicted. I'd say this is a good thing. $75 is more reasonable than $90 was, but in my opinion, it's still too high. This doll did actually sell out during the Fang Club pre-order period, but so did the most recent Skeletor, the Squid Game doll, and that doll is still available. It's been a month and that doll is still available. So I have my doubts that this doll will sell out, but they are pretty cool. I like the use of the male body sculpt with a more like feminine looking head sculpt. Though I think the head may be a male sculpt just because of the neck connection. I don't know if you can cram a female Monster High head sculpt onto a male body. I don't know if it works. So they may have had to use a male head sculpt for this. Honestly, I'm not sure. I can't really tell just by looking at it. The box is cool, but to be honest, I do feel a bit underwhelmed. I feel like they could have done something a bit more unique with it, because this box is basically the same kind of silhouette as RuPaul's box, I would say. You know, like just being very long. It's cool though. You know, like I don't dislike it, but I'm also just not crazy about it. Like, I wouldn't hesitate to unbox the doll from this, you know? Around the back of the box, there is a description, but let me read what it says, actually. A spellbinding collaboration between Monster High and visionary fashion designer Harris Reed. And then it just describes the doll, and it reads, every monster touched by this gossamer spell feels free to be their true self. Okay, so it's like a message of, like, being yourself. I mean, that makes sense. They're collaborating with what's the word I'm looking for? A gender fluid designer. So it makes sense to make that the message. I like this doll and I like what it represents. The only thing I don't like is the price. I would pay that price if it was something that I felt like truly attached to. And as much as I do like this doll's design in general, the outfit's gorgeous, I would wear this myself. I like the silver accessories. I just don't feel that attachment to this doll, you know? So currently I'm leaning towards skipping them. I'm not sure, but yeah. Overall, nice doll, but just not for me, you know? And now I want to talk about the Cree Productions. So as you guys know, the Cree Productions ended up restocking at midnight on November 20th. So like literally the second that it became November 20th on the clock, they restocked on Mattel Creations. They stayed in stock for about half an hour, and a lot of people were having issues with payment, and the same issues actually did occur with this doll today, with the Harris Reed doll. So it's just something Mattel Creations has not fixed. I've heard that you can get around it by using like Google Chrome instead of just using like the Safari app on your phone. If you use Chrome, the Chrome app, I think it will work better. Some people also say to try the incognito tab on your phone. As for the computer, I'm not sure. I just know on your phone, those are two options you can do to try to get around the issues with payments. Mattel Creations has had this issue for like a month now. I don't know why they seem to have no issue in or no interest in fixing it. It's weird. But yeah, the dolls sold out in 30 minutes on Mattel Creations. They went into stock on Amazon the next day, or like the same day, technically, around like 9 a.m. in Pacific Standard Time. That's the time. Or do I live on East? I'm on the East Coast. I think mine is EST. So it was about 9 a.m. EST. Draculaura sold out, I want to say, like 4 hours later. I believe Laguna was next, selling out at about maybe 5 hours later. And then Claudine sold out, and Frankie is actually still in stock currently. But people have been receiving these dolls pretty fast, and there have been an abundance of quality control issues. I have like 3 examples, both from friends of mine, so hopefully they don't mind me using their photos. My friend got a Claudine, and at first glance this doll may look fine, but the little speck on her nose is actually a bubble in her plastic. It's very strange. I don't think I've seen anyone else have this problem, but there's like a bubble in her plastic, and no matter what he does, it won't come off. It's just like stuck on there. Very strange issue. Her arm was also bent when he took her out of the box, just kind of bent out of shape like that. So I guess that's another thing to be wary of with these dolls, other than their faces coming messed up. The quality control on this line seems to be totally abysmal. It's pretty bad, and it's kind of disappointing considering how badly people wanted this restock. Another example comes from one of my friends on Instagram. Their username is on the screen. You can see that their Draculaura came with a huge chip in her eye. I've actually seen this before. There's been a few people who got Draculaura and she comes with either a chip in her eye or messed up lip paint. Like, there's just so many issues with Draculaura in particular. This same friend also got a Frankie, and their Frankie had their lip paint. Like, Frankie's lips were like staining her plastic. I haven't seen this one before, but if it happened to one doll, I'm assuming it's happening to other people's. But basically, the lip paint was like staining up around her nose and such. It was not only messy, but it's actively staining her plastic. It's actually kind of crazy. You'd think like a doll with an issue like that would be like, you know, plucked off the assembly line. Like, oh, this doll's damaged, we shouldn't sell it. But I guess Mattel like just kind of doesn't care. I mean, we're not surprised. Why would we be surprised? But again, it does suck how prevalent these issues seem to be. These are just 3 examples from like some friends of mine, but it does seem to be pretty bad so far. Everyone that I've seen get the Cree Productions either gets a wonky face or, in a worst case scenario, a damaged doll, like a bent out of shape limb or a bubble on her nose. I still can't believe this one. What the hell even happened there? Eye chips do seem to be very common though, like this Draculaura. It's happening a lot to a lot of people, and it just sucks to see. So the solution that I offer is to email Mattel about it. If you live in the US, it's pretty easy. You just go to the service.mattel.com website. I'll link it in the description. But basically, if you got the Cree Productions and they're damaged, all you have to do is go through Mattel's customer service portal, and so far they seem pretty willing to send out replacements. Like, they actually have replacements of the Cree Productions to send out. So if you get a damaged one, it's pretty easy to get a new one. You just have to email or call them. Personally, calling is pretty awkward for me, but it does yield the best results. You just have to be very careful when you're giving them your email, because if they get like one letter wrong, you won't get the email that you're supposed to get to respond to. So that's a bit of a problem. That's why I prefer to do it through email. But calling does seem to get the quickest results, so I would recommend that. But yeah, basically, it's nice that the Cree Productions restocked, and I'm hoping that everyone who wanted them was able to get them. But it does seem like there's been a lot of quality control issues, which just kind of drags down the experience, I would say, for most people. If you got the Cree Productions and they arrived wonky, let me know in the comments, because, again, seems to be a very common occurrence currently. So yeah, that's everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. I just find it kind of crazy how terrible of condition the Cree Productions are arriving in for some people, so I wanted to talk about that and tell people who don't know you can email Mattel about it that you can. So yeah, I also wanted to talk about the Harris Reed doll because while I don't intend to buy one, I have seen a lot of people really like them, and I'm happy that people do like the doll. It's just like, I think I'm just kind of tired of all these Monster High releases, so I'm starting to become a bit more selective with it. Like, I didn't buy the Hocus Pocus dolls. I don't want to buy this one. I didn't buy them today on, like, the early stock, so again, I'm just trying to be more selective with my collection, but I'm happy people like that doll. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!